smiling because I know a lot of you know me out there. And for the ones who don't, my name is Jordan Montgomery. I feel like this will be the first video of many. It's basically telling from my perspective so that nobody gets this confused. I'm not talking about you or y'all. This is strictly from my perspective and how I've been feeling lately, what's been going on these past weeks, and where I stand now. So I'll just take you back a few weeks on how I've been feeling lately. So just like a lot of people I know out there, you know, all these different platforms, everything that's keeping us busy on our day-to-day lives. I feel like days where I'm not doing anything, if I'm not spending time with my family, I'm usually on YouTube, maybe Facebook, seeing how everybody is doing, IG, you know, your typical platforms, like I said. And just like many, I would just stroll, laugh, cry, whatever feelings that I get from anything that I come across. And, you know, just feeling like just wasting time, I guess. But I say that to say this. I started coming to a strong realization about a lot of things that's been going on in this world lately. And like many, I just feel like, I guess you could say I was being naive or maybe even oblivious to it, because the times that I would get off work, you know, and that's really all I know is to work, a working man. I've been doing it for a long time. But, you know, I'd get off work, maybe go get me something to drink so I could relax my mind. So what I felt like I was doing the whole time was just numbing whatever I was truly feeling and telling myself, convincing myself that it was making me feel better, or it sent me into a good relaxation of my mind, when it really wasn't. If anything, with drinking, that I've come to know, it did nothing more than just give me some type of depression. Now, it's not the same depression that you would feel if you were to go to the club or go out drinking with friends and things of that nature, or maybe it is. Like I said, this is my story. So those times where I would drink, really in my mind, I just felt like, why am I doing this? There was a few times, and I feel like that'd be a video for itself, but there was a lot of times when I was drinking. I was a heavy drinker, but I would be functional. Now, that doesn't take away from still the title of what you truly are, which is an alcoholic. So really, I was just a functional alcoholic. But then I would think about it, it's like, who am I to tell the next person that just because they can't hold their alcohol, that it's not for them? And that's just pride talking. That was a lot of pride. And I've been carrying pride for so long. That I feel like that is one of the reasons why I feel like I was for the world. Yeah, that's exactly the reason. Being for the world, carrying myself with a lot of pride. And along with pride comes a lot of selfishness. Been very, very selfish. But it wasn't enough that me now come to the realization of all of that, and actually just confessing, looking in my own mirror just to see all the things that I was. But it's funny because I feel like that's what this world will do to you. I feel like we were programmed ever since we were young. And I just feel like, honestly, it's a flesh cycle. That's exactly what I feel like I've been living. So, to the point where everything that I've been told, I just feel like I knew I had this urge to question a lot of things, but at the same time, it was like, well, they are older than me. Let me respect that. And so I would just consider it just wisdom, I guess, or enlightenment of them being older. I'm just going to take that in. This is how things should be done. This is how we should line it up. But then in truth, it's like there's times that it would go by and I'm just thinking to myself, like, this can't be it. This can't be right. And then it started hitting me as I got older, you know, and it really is true. You know, just depending on who you hung around, the things that you've seen along the way, the good, the bad, the ugly, there was still always something that we would consider our gut feeling or our intuition. When deep down, in all truthfulness, I feel like it was our spirit trying to tell us, if anything, trying to warn us of our surroundings. And I'm not saying everybody around you is bad. That's not what I'm getting at. It was just, I knew in time I just started like becoming more distant, or I would shut down. You know, I wouldn't want to talk. I wouldn't want to speak. And a lot of people on the outside looking in would consider that's just, you know, you being shy, or, you know, you're not, you're antisocial. You know, I know a lot of you hear that too, and it's like I'm not antisocial. I just got this strong feeling like I feel kind of alone, you know, and you can't pinpoint exactly why that is. So, you know, just like anybody else, I would brush it off. I wouldn't think nothing of it. I would just continue just to brush it off, and, you know, just continue just to live life, you know. And I think to myself now, I'm 32 years old, and I'm just now coming to the realization of all of it, because there are things going on now. Like I said, I don't want to lose y'all. I know I'm all over the place right now, but that's why I said there's going to be many videos to come on separate topics. But this is just me telling you exactly how I feel from my perspective and what's been going on lately. And in order for you to truly understand, I got to go back. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth. I just feel like there were always signs, you know. There were signs around me showing like, hey, well, you know, this is wrong. Like, you know, this is wrong. And I choose to ignore it, you know. And I'm just like, nah, I'm okay. Nah, it's fine. And then it's funny because when you're by yourself, that's when I feel like your inner truth gives you that time to speak. Whether it be to yourself or you just got this feeling, I don't know. Like, and that's why I felt like I was alone from time to time. It's like, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? Even if life can be going good, going great, you feel like everything's going your way, you still have this feeling like an empty feeling. Like something's missing. Not saying that, you know, if your parents are in your life, or your brother, your sister, your mom, your auntie, grandma, that's not what I'm saying. Like, anybody can feel like they're giving you love, but you still always felt like nobody would understand you, you know? And I feel like that's what I was kind of battling with, and it didn't matter, you know, per se what was said to me when I was young. Like, I was like really skinny growing up, you know, and my big brother would always give me a hard time about it, you know. He would call me names and this and that, and just get me so upset, so mad about it that, you know, I would say all these hurtful things in my mind, but deep down it's like, okay, well, as I got older, I decided to do something about it, because not just him, and I know my parents, like my mom, she knows she means well, she meant well, but, you know, just her concern of me being, you know, little, and I just and I would look at my brother with like so much hate, because I felt like, he's born with the genetics of having all of this weight and everything, like he gets to be big, and I want to be big. If I'm big, then I'm strong. I would mentally tell myself these things, and so I felt like, you know what, as I was going through my school years, I would hear it too, jokingly, like no bullying type of nonsense was going on for me per se, but there was still just a lot of things where I felt like, it hurt, but you try to brush it off like it's not bothering you. And I felt like at that moment, as I was getting older, I felt like that's where my pride started to really build. And what built pride came with a lot of confidence. But what brought confidence built a lot of selfishness, and it's me saying I don't care a lot. I would literally tell that to myself and manifest that, sometimes even when I talk to people, because I don't relate to you. Like, I got my own problems. I would say things like that. I would tell myself these things. Like, your problems don't really amount to my problems, man. Like, I need to get in this gym and get big, I need to get big so I can get this respect. Nobody's going to mess with me. I get big, I put on this muscle, and I'm going to carry myself a certain way, And I've been on a fitness journey for so many years. So you think about all those years I've been in the gym, putting that weight on. Oh, now people see me. Oh, now my friends see me. Now my family sees me. Now my brother sees me. Oh, you got swole. Hey, you looking big. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm eating that up. I'm eating it up, because just like I said, when you get tired of hearing, things about yourself that you already know, I look in my own mirror, I can clearly see it. But asking myself this question truly, would have I even gone down this path if nobody said anything to me? Would I have genuinely gone down this path of trying to fix what I felt like, hey, well, I just want to be happy. I just want to be a kid. I just want to have fun. Like, I'm not thinking about, how skinny I am. It's only because things were said so many times that it becomes true. Now I feel like I have to do something about it. And that's right there. Me saying that's living of this world. Living of the world. That's basically what I am, the flesh. I wanted to do something about it so I can put that to hush. But it's funny because and I was doing that like religiously. And I said, I've always been a worker. And at the time I was living with my parents. I would just go to the gym. I would go to work, go home. It was like a triangle. Go to the gym, go to work, go home. And of course, you putting that type of time in the gym, you are bound to see results. But it's not the results that you would see in your own eyes. It's your surroundings that are starting to see it. But even when I started to see such results, I always felt like it's not enough. Nope, I'm not big enough. Keep going. Mentally telling myself, nope, you gotta keep doing it. Go to the gym. And there'd be days where I just felt like this is not too much. I felt like that's the inner man talking. At the time where I just felt like I really don't want to be doing this. Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I appreciate the compliments. But all the compliments did was just boost my ego more. Give me more and more confidence. Build my pride up even more. I felt like it just made me not care. And even the people that I felt like were coming to me, during that journey, I just felt like I was giving them pride talk, pride suggestions. And to myself, I felt like it was genuine. But when you see people in the gym going as hard as they do, you never once really stop to think what they may be going through. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely wasn't thinking about none of that at all. I was really thinking about myself. Like I said, getting big, tackling my own problems, releasing all that anger ever since I was young, just releasing it. Release it to the weights, give it to the weights. My life was gym and gym was life. Fitness, that's all I cared about. And money. Money, money, money. I'm gonna start out by saying this right now. God was money. Money was God. And that too also started at a young age for me. I felt like my surroundings, when I was looking at how people were dressed and seeing nice cars, and I was like, yeah, I want that. That's what I want. Just seeing them surrounded by the women and everything that you know, things that you would see on TV, things that you would see in movies, being glorified. And not saying that my parents were poor, broke, or anything of that nature. I'm not saying that. My father was in the military. My mom, she worked, you know. And as we gradually got older, she got all of her degrees in the medical field. My pops did about 25 years in the military. So I'm not saying that I actually wanted for nothing, but in the beginning stages, I felt like I wanted more. I felt like I wanted the things that I couldn't have at a certain age. You know, I didn't have the best shoes. Especially when I do have a memory of like when the Air Forces came out, you know. And, you know, I remember telling my parents, you know, hey, you know, that's what I wanted. Or I wanted jewelry, I wanted the chain, I wanted the watch, I wanted the bracelet, everything, the necklace, I wanted all of it. And it's funny because I would only get one thing out of everything that I asked for. And those Air Forces that I wanted, I couldn't get those. So we would go to like this knockoff truck, like a bootlegger basically. I remember him selling these shoes, you know, and I got the closest things that I felt like looked like forces to me, you know, and they ended up being shacks, man. So I would still go to school, you know, with the shacks on and this and that. Some of my friends had their forces on, so of course you already know where I'm going with this. You know, you would get, you know, talked about. Supposedly these are your friends though, you know, and they're just giving you a hard time about it. But I honestly felt like, you know, no matter what you guys say, like it still hurts, you know, and I would laugh it off, like I said, because, you know, this is my friends, this is my group, you know. So seeing what their parents were able to afford for them, of course I felt some type of way. But once again, this is everything that I feel like happens in our life that gets you up until this point today. It starts from childhood, you know, from me being talked about, you know, being skinny, so I got into fitness. Me having the parents that I felt like weren't able to afford the things that I wanted right then and there. That I just, hey, I want this, I want that, you know, and not really voicing it, you know. I wasn't, you know, bad mouthing them or being disrespectful and this and that. It's just, I knew deep down what I wanted. And I told myself as I gradually got older, well, I see how my parents work, so I'm gonna work for it also. I do believe in that. I do believe hard work does pay off, and it showed throughout my life. But there's such a degree that you can take it to, which I felt like I really took it like too far. We have a saying in the fitness life where you are never satisfied, no matter how big you are, no matter if you were big and you wanted to lose weight, you just have this non-satisfactory. No matter how many compliments you get, you will never truly be satisfied. So it works the same with money. It did the exact same thing to me. I felt like when I got my first job, nobody really gave me a speech. I've gotten lectures by my parents, don't get me wrong, but nobody really took it to a degree that told me, you know, save your money. I felt like that was something that I felt I created myself. Okay? So doing that, it's like I would get this dopamine feeling. You know, when you release dopamines and you see it or you feel it, you get excited, like more. Oh yeah, I gotta do this. because this amount turns into that amount turns into this amount. And I was real stingy. Like anybody around you, from my parents to anybody that's close to me, my friends, my family, would tell you like, yo, Jordan is cheap. Jordan is cheap. He's so cheap with his money. And I would yep, I am. You would ask me for something. Nope, I don't got it. I have it. I'm just not willing to give it to you, because I don't want to see my finances go down, is how I truly felt. If I was at a certain number, I knew I didn't want to see it go down. So slowly but surely, I knew this was the start of something that I was building in myself when it came to money. Felt like I was praising it, you know? So from the beginning of being young to receiving allowances from my parents, you know, when things were starting to look up and getting good, you know, my father going up in rank in the military, my mother and her working, you know, they're able to give us, you know, our allowances or give us money for school, for lunch, and things like that. And, you know, most kids, they'll take that money, you know, appreciate it, probably, you know, spend the whole thing. No, not me. Not me. I would take that money, probably spend $1 or $2, and pocket the rest. And mind you, I would receive $5 every day for lunch, and try my best not to spend the whole $5. Not even sure if my parents knew. I'm sure they knew. If they didn't, now you know. Starts early. When I worked at I feel like it really started young when I had a piggy bank. Yeah, I would, you know, collect my ones and this and that. I had a good amount for a kid my age, you know. And I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 90s, so you have to consider that amount for that type of age is pretty impressive, you know, to most people's eyes. I felt like, yo, I got like $200 and something, and my brother would always spend his. That's one thing I noticed about him. He could never keep money. So signs and tendencies show in the beginning on what you may become. If you yourself don't see anything wrong with it, that's the thing about it. If you yourself don't see anything wrong with what you're doing in your life as you're growing and nobody's telling you, or maybe they are and you're not listening, this is you building your character. Because I can guarantee you that's exactly why I became the man who I feel like I was being. And I keep saying was, it's going to make sense towards the end. I was being that boy becoming a man by not only my surroundings, not only my love for money, my finances, and then they got me in the credit, which I'm not saying these things are bad, but when I say I took it to different degrees, I would wake up, count my money. Wake up, check my bank account. Wake up, oh, my credit's looking good. So I'm purposely building my mentality to say this is good, which it is not all bad. But when you take it to that degree where it starts to consume you, then something is wrong. And I was blind to it for a long time. I was blind to what it was actually doing to me, doing to my mind. Like, don't get me wrong, there's times where I would give, you know, Salvation Army, I would give give to the hungry, give to the needy, and I'd feel good about myself. But that was pride good. That was oh, I got it good right now. I can do that. You know, here you go, take that. You know, or when money started getting good, as far as my savings is starting to boost itself. You know, by me putting it to the side. And I would get friends or even family sometimes that, you know, they'll ask for money, and I tell them, excuse me, I would tell them a lie straight to their face or straight over the phone. Oh, I ain't got it. I got it. I just don't want to give it to you. That's the truth. I've done that so many times. And it's so funny because it's not even about the amount that they ask me, you know. It's just knowing I do have it. And if I'm being honest, giving it to you wouldn't even hurt. It wouldn't have hurt me. Even if you didn't want to pay me back, it wouldn't have hurt me. I've saved too much. And I would tell myself, look at me, I didn't have to go to college. Look at me, I didn't have to be a rapper. Look at me, I didn't have to have a career. I would tell myself these things. I was gloating. Instead of like realizing like, hey man, you're a good solid worker, and when you work you get paid. We know that. But putting my body through what I put it through just to put the money and finances to the side, I wasn't really living. I'm not gonna lie. I still have clothes. I still have clothes that I've had ever since I was in high school. Because I felt like I didn't want to spend too much money getting new clothes because of my financial situation. I didn't want the money to start descending. I like the looks of ascending. I like the looks of interest. I love this feeling. Oh, money. And the only reason I'm laughing now, not to confuse anybody, I'm laughing because I get to, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing how it comes off. I'm hearing how it sounds. And it's just like, what? So many years, you decided to do this. Moving on though. Like I said, I'm going to be jumping around. And the videos, like I said, that's going to come later on are just going to be basically just individual topics that I'm talking about in here, but I really want to give it like a pinpoint to breaking it down. So in the beginning of the video I said how I've been feeling these past weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump up now on where I'm at. So like anybody, like I said, I would just be watching random videos from scary stories. I could jump from scary stories to rap battles to music, didn't matter what kind, hip hop, your R&B, drill music, even gossip. Like I'm all over the place. And what I noticed was, it alters your feelings. Especially when alcohol is involved, and that's gonna be a topic that I really cannot wait to share with you guys. I really want to go into more depth about it, but I'm gonna stay on topic and just let you know where I'm at. So the more and more that I'm looking at these videos, or I'm looking at what's